Many people quit budgeting because they expect predictability, but real life includes things like commission income. Maybe you don't make the same amount every day or every month, or side hustle. Maybe you do have side hustles that income comes in more, and sometimes you have seasonal income, where depending on what time of year you may get more income. Emergencies happen. Those can cause some issues. Car repairs. Oh man, is my car, the sound that my car is making, am I going to have to address that soon? Or medical bills. Somebody twists their ankle and all of a sudden you got a bill you didn't expect. Or kids' expenses. Wait, what do you mean? What? What do you mean we need to get ready for another party? Or inflation. Yeah, my gas tank's costing a good bit more to fill up than it did just a few months ago. Or unexpected opportunities, like the items that come up that you're going, maybe we should do that. And you have to make those determinations if it's something that you can do. The solution, if those come up and they weren't something that you planned, don't quit budgeting. What we want to do is build a flexible system that actually works for you and your family. And let's do that. Welcome to Financial Coaching Kingdom, the podcast that helps you align your money with your purpose. I'm your host, John. We've all felt the weight of financial stress, the sleepless nights, the silent disagreements with our spouse, the feeling that we're just not in control. But what if there's a better way? What if managing your money was less about math and more about peace of mind? On this podcast, we'll explore a different kind of financial freedom. It's not just about what you earn or what you owe. It's about the emotional clarity that comes from being on the same page with your spouse, the spiritual strength you gain from worshiping God with your finances, and the deep satisfaction of knowing you're building a lasting legacy for your family. Every week, we'll cut through the noise to bring you simple, powerful truths that will help you move from financial chaos to confidence. If you're ready to find clarity, grow in unity, and live with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Most budgets don't fail because people are lazy. They struggle because life is unpredictable. Again, you could have commission sales, and 1 month, oh my goodness, things are popping. We are getting the money's coming in, or it could get your bonuses 3 times a year or 1 time a year or whatever it is. So commission sales can change. Or you have a side hustle that 1 month it is working really great, or another month not so much. Maybe you have a lawn mowing business which works well in the summertime, but in the wintertime, not as easy to mow grass under snow. Emergency expenses that come up. The car repair, the kid who got the sniffles or got sent home from school because they were sick. And so guess what? Now you have to go home from work. And if you're hourly, that can change your budget. Or kids' activities. Things like those graduations that happen, or the sports that want to be played. Inflation, it does happen every year. Things go up in cost. And if we are not anticipating that and planning for that, it really hurts. Just this last week, I filled up my gas tank and it went higher than I was wanting it to go. But gratefully we have the money for that. Thank you, Lord. And also seasonal bills. Those bills that come up that, depending on what time of year, they may exist, and other times of the year they don't. Christmas could be an example, or the expenses of running your air conditioner. Maybe the summer is a high expense for utilities. So today we're talking about how to build a budget that works in real life, in your life. How can we work together and get that budget so that you can succeed, that you have understanding of where your money is going. Maybe in the past you have tried a traditional budgeting system and you just felt frustrated. Like, this just doesn't work for me. Truthfully, a lot of us, I love it when I have a salaried position and I know exactly how much I'm getting. It is so much easier to budget. When I'm working hourly, things are a little different. So I have to adjust that and say, hey, how many days of work do I have in this month? Or this week? Do I, depending on how we get paid, do I get a full amount or am I getting overtime? Am I not? Did I have to leave work early on Thursday and for a doctor's appointment and now I'm getting paid less? All those things get thrown into the mix. Most budgets advice assumes a fixed income, and reality is you don't have a fixed income. Not all of us. Real families experience fluctuations. It comes up, it goes down, hopefully not large amounts, but at least little amounts that will add up over time. And unexpected expenses feel discouraging. So all of a sudden a bill comes in that you're going, man, we didn't plan for that. I didn't even think about that. Where did that come from? Guess what? It happens and it's okay. You're still okay. And because of that, sometimes people will abandon the budget after a bad month. It's like, nope, this isn't working for us. This is not for our system. We can't do this. It may work for somebody else, the Joneses, but for us, this isn't going to work. A budget should guide you. It's not used to punish you. It's used for you to make the determination of where you, as a family, want your money to go. It's for you to make that decision of, hey, we expected it to cost this much, but it's actually going to cost a bit more. What do we do? Where does that money come from? And so then you have a little discussion and you determine, how do we move forward with this? It's not to punish you. It's not to tell you you're a bad person, because you're not. You're just working through this. Sometimes life happens. Well, actually, all the time life happens. And each month, it's going to be different. You want that flexibility. It is not a one-time, a one-and-done situation. That's why you want to have regular meetings talking about where the budget is going and what expenses are coming up. Okay, what if you know your income is irregular? You know you're on commission. You know your money goes up and down. Some months you are raking it in and living life large. And some months you're going, okay, so do we have another package of ramen? If that is you, if that's your family, it's a good idea to build a budget around that, to make it your budget so that you can experience the good times and enjoy them, but also be able to pay for the leaner months. So for example, let's say that you have an income that ranges between $5,000 and $8,000. You know that is the range that you look back at the last year and you look to see how much it cost, how much you received. You can do that. You have that ability, and I empower you to look at your pay stubs or look at your accounts and determine how much you actually are getting or how much you anticipate getting. And if you know it's that range, great. Let's build the budget around that. You're going to build that $5,000 baseline budget where if you have any extra income, we're going to set that aside at the moment. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to create that bare bones type of budget. Those items that come up that you know, those essential expenses, those things like housing, whether it's rent or a mortgage, you want to make sure you can live. Or utilities. We need to turn the lights on, and we also need to have air conditioning or heating, or food. We need to make sure that we do have food, whether that food is ramen or whether that food is filet mignon. We want to make sure that we are, however you are eating, is taken care of. Transportation, you need to get to and from work. Make sure that that is covered, and also your insurances. They make sure that you have your health insurance. Make sure you have your auto insurance. Make sure you have those required insurances that you use regularly. And also on the side note on insurances, if you're not using it, like myself with dental insurance, and it's like I got 2 teeth cleanings a year, and all of a sudden it's June and I haven't made my first cleaning. Oh man, I'm going to miss it. So I wasted some money. There we go. Fun with John. The flexible expenses that you can adjust, that if you have that $5,000 month, hey guys, guess what? We are not eating out. We are eating in. We are going to make it ourselves. Or entertainment. Maybe that month you're not going to be going out to the movies or shopping. Maybe that's the month that you go, hey, we're going to have a no-spend month on this month. Not just for when it comes to extra shopping. Sometimes it's, for me, it's coffee. Sometimes it's making sure that you are taking care of those bare minimums. And when something is flexible, when it doesn't have to be paid this month, let's not have that in that basic budget for anticipated spending. Your lifestyle should be built around consistency, not your best month. You want to make sure that you are not going, hey, that month I made $12,000 and that's what I'm going to be live my life on and live it large. Great. It sounds wonderful. It is wonderful, but is it predictable? Can you plan on it? Those are those things you have to think of. Now let's talk about sinking funds. And these are funds that we set aside money for those things that happen once a year. Well, there's things like Christmas. And maybe you have depending on how much you spend for Christmas, you want to make sure you have a budget for that. Or car repairs. You know about how much you're spending on maintenance of your vehicle or getting new tires or however often that needs to happen. Or birthdays. Guess what? They happen. You like to celebrate them. You want to make sure that you put those together to determine how much do we plan on spending for the kids, for each other, for friends, for whoever we're getting gifts to. And also school supplies. Those things are coming. They're not happening every month, but that you're going to need some school supplies. I have to go get some file folders. I keep forgetting to do that. So thanks for reminding me. And vacations. You want to take some vacations. We want to make sure whether it's a staycation or whether we're actually going somewhere, make sure that you're saving for those things. And insurance deductibles. Maybe you're in the time of life where you need to actually make sure you have the money for that deductible, which you probably should plan on having anyway. But for some of us, we have to make sure that we have the out-of-pocket maximum every year. So just plan for that. Our home maintenance, another one that not every month are we having to put large sums of money into the home, but guess what? It's coming. It's just not to say it's a time bomb, but it's going to happen at any moment. Something can go wrong. You want to make sure that you are saving money for that. Home ownership is not cheap. Just be aware of that. Now, these are not expenses that you are spending every month, but these are things that you know are coming, that you can expect and anticipate. And this is where you're going to be making sinking funds. And you're going to have this as a line item for your budget. Now, this is going to be, let's say that in Christmas, you want to spend $1,200. And so if that's $1,200, should actually not be $1,200 in December. That should be $100 every month going toward that. Now, with your inconsistent income, can you always put that $100 in that budget line? Not necessarily. So there could be a month where you go, oh, I can't put that in, but in January and February, I wasn't able to put money into that amount. But in March, you get a great bonus. So guess what? Now in March, you're putting $300 in there because now you've got that bonus, you got that higher account amount, and you're able to fund that sinking fund for those months. But it is planning. It is making sure that you're working with somebody whether it's your spouse or working with a financial coach to help you make that determination of what's the best way to do it. Most emergencies aren't actually emergencies. They're expenses that we fail to prepare for. We want to make sure that we are thinking through what we expect to pay in the year. A successful budget needs to be adaptive and not quitting. A healthy budget is adaptive. It understands that overspending is going to happen. But it doesn't mean failure. I planned to pay $60 to fill up my car. And guess what? It cost $79. It happens. Emergency expenses happen. There are things that come up that we didn't know about. The flat tire happens, or the car accident, or the incident with the kids. Incomes fluctuate. It happens regularly. You get call off sick. The hours get cut. You end up getting more. You get a bonus. Great. What do you do with that? Do you just spend it all, or do you plan for it? Or do you plan it with your spouse? Your priorities shift seasonally. We are all in different seasons. And the people at church who are currently have a new baby, they have different priorities now than they did 3 months ago. Those of us who are thinking about retirement, we have a little bit different plans than those who are not thinking about retirement. But consistency matters more than perfection. Being consistent, coming together on a monthly basis to look at, hey, this is how much we're anticipating getting versus how much we think this life is going to cost this much. Other examples could be things like a business lunch. You get asked out for a business lunch, and guess what? Nobody's going to pay for it except for you. Or even job transitions. Sometimes we decide to make those job transitions. Other times, those transitions get told to us. And medical seasons. So it could be something that comes up that you go do your annual physical and you found out, oh, I need to change some things, whether it's the food that I eat or the medications that I take, and those can help change. Or maybe even temporary hardships, things that happen to us that we weren't anticipating, things that need to be addressed today and taken care of that will hopefully lessen in time. Peace comes from doing things like planning ahead, making sure that you know or can anticipate where things are going or money's going. Communication, you want to be talking with your spouse, making sure that you guys are chatting about where that's going. And also prayer. Don't forget to pray when we're talking about communication. We want to pray to God to find out, hey, how should I be spending this money? Making margin. Guess what? Spending every dollar that we make, or more than every dollar that we make, is a problem. If we want to win with money, we need margin so that we can start saving and start building the future and being adaptive. Don't put things down on paper and say it has to be this, and if it's not this, you are a failure. That's not happening. It's not that way. We want to look at it. We want to go, okay, let's change it. Let's see, where does the money go? Okay, did we put more money on debt than we paid off? Well, let's work with that. And being consistent. We want consistency so that you know you're going to, with the first month you do your budget, it is going to be a train wreck. The second month, it's going to get better. The third month, you're going to understand where things are going a little better. Control of every variable is not going to happen, but you can be adaptive. You can work toward that. You can work together as a couple and figure that out. The goal isn't building a perfect budget. The goal is building a family financial system that can survive real life, your life. All right, let's talk a little bit about Financial Peace University. And that is a class that I will be hosting, on June the 8th. Whether you're able to make it for the June 8th Financial Peace University class, it's online. You'd be able to sign up and we could chat together. You could see me on video. Or you could sign up for a different one. You could find one that's close to you. You can find a great class that's going to help you learn how to do things like budget and plan ahead and stop living paycheck to paycheck, and how to pay off debt, how to build savings consistently, and how to create a long-term financial stability. It is a successful plan that has worked for thousands and thousands and people to get out of debt. It is something that has helped myself. It's helped lots of people. Now, it is a structured plan through Dave Ramsey's processing, and you'd want to sign up and get your account for Financial Peace University, and then you would be able to search for a class that you could either do in person with somebody maybe at church or maybe a local person that's near you, or you could do the online version like what I'm doing on June the 8th. Again, if you could join me, I would love to get to know you, love to meet you. If not, that's okay. Find somebody who can help you with that on that class, or reach out to me and let's set it up for the next one and let's talk about that, how we can do that. Now, there are different ways that if you have an irregular income, you can plan for that and budget it. One of them is like the bare bones budget. And again, that's kind of what we were talking about, where you have commission sales. Maybe you're a new entrepreneur and you don't necessarily know how much you're going to be getting per month, or even if you're an experienced entrepreneur and you don't necessarily know how much you're getting per month, or have highly inconsistent income, or you're having a time of financial recovery. And how it works is having a minimum survival budget. And this only includes things like giving, maybe the housing, utilities, groceries, the transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. And that would be that bare bones amount of how much you need. And that's your survival. No extras at that moment. Then when that additional income comes in, that's when you're able to pay off items like extra debt payoff, or savings, or fund spending, or lifestyle upgrades, or sinking funds. Sometimes we can't fund our sinking funds right away because we need to make sure we can pay the monthly amounts. Sometimes it takes time. That's where we're here to help as financial coaches. So reach out to one. For example, let's say you get $4,000 a month, but your actual income this month is $6,500. That means you have an extra income of $2,500 that gets allocated intentionally, not just spent. How it helps prevent lifestyle inflation, overcommitting, and panicking during slow months. We want to make sure that you have the money set aside to at least take care of everything that you need before the income comes. Another system would be the priority bucket system. And these are best for visual thinkers, maybe couples who are working together on their finances, which I hope you are. If you are in a relationship and you are married, please be working together. Families that are overwhelmed by complexity, and this is how this is going to work. Every dollar gets assigned to a bucket. Example, the essentials buckets. Bucket number 1, essentials. Housing, utilities, food, insurance, those items. Bucket 2 comes future, savings, emergency funds, investing, sinking funds. In bucket 3, debt, extra debt payoff. Bucket 4, lifestyle, entertainment, shopping, and dining. And how this works is very simple mentally. As you have more money to fill those buckets, you get to move into the next bucket, and it overflows from one bucket to the next bucket. So you're able to make sure that everything gets paid as life goes on. Or there's the hybrid budget. And most families with irregular income can use this. And how it works is you have your fixed expenses, which are fixed amounts. Examples would be that mortgage and insurance and utilities, and you know exactly how much those fixed expenses are. And then you have flexible expenses like dining out or shopping or fun money. Those are things that don't necessarily need to happen every month. Again, there's also the zero-based budgeting for irregular income, and this is for those of us who can know where our money is going. And how it works is every dollar gets assigned before spending it. We know where it's going to go. With irregular income, you budget only money already received. So you're doing this, you're getting a paycheck ahead, and then you will budget off of what you've received. Never budget for future uncertain income. Only budget what actually has cash value available to you. Why this works? It works because it gives you awareness, intentionality, and strong spending control. You're able to know where the money is going, and you know exactly how much you already have to spend. You're not worried about maybe we'll get this, maybe we won't. And it can feel stressful for some personally, but you work through it together as a family. Okay, so now let's talk about the Proverbs Challenge. Now, what is the Proverbs Challenge? The Proverbs Challenge is a challenge I'm giving you to read a chapter of the book of Proverbs that correlates with the day of the month that we are in. For example, we have 31 days of the month, some months, and there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. So, on the first, you read chapter 1. On the 10th, you're going to read chapter 10, and so on and so forth. You're going to learn a lot of wisdom. You're going to learn a lot about finances, and you're going to learn how to relate to each other and how to worship God with the money that He has provided you. I strongly encourage you to do that. And if you're married, I strongly encourage you to sit down with your spouse, read together, and pray about it. Now, men, if this is the 31st and this is the first day that you want to do this, please wait till tomorrow. Don't start it on Proverbs 31. If the day is the first, because Proverbs 31 is a very powerful chapter for women. Today we're talking about Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27:1. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. This verse reminds us that life, we're not in control of it. It doesn't happen exactly how we expect it to happen. Somebody else is in control. God is. There could be changes like job changes, some that we know, some that are forced upon us. Commission income that fluctuates, or businesses have slow seasons. Some businesses close down, so you may be part of a business that actually closes down, or you may be part of a business that opens up. Your cars break down, or medical expenses happen. We don't necessarily know exactly what is going to happen each and every day. So we want to make sure that we're praying about it and we're worshiping God with what He's given us, but not making the assumption that I know exactly what's going to happen and thus I'm going to do this. Don't assume tomorrow will go exactly as planned. That's why budgeting matters, not because we're trying to control the future, but because we're trying to prepare wisely for uncertainty. One reason families struggle financially is because we naturally assume next month will look like this month. Solomon reminds us that we don't know what tomorrow holds, which is exactly why we need margin, savings, and a flexible budget. Proverbs 27:12. The prudent sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it. The prudent person plans ahead. It builds emergency savings, creates sinking funds, anticipates expenses. The simple person says, I'll deal with it later. Or hopefully nothing happens. Or we'll figure it out when it comes. Then, when the transmission goes out, When Christmas arrives, when the medical bills come, they suffer financially. The prudent person understands that many financial emergencies aren't surprises. They're simply expenses we fail to prepare for. And Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Financial wisdom grows in community. This verse reminds us, don't manage money in isolation. If you're a married couple, sharpen each other. Conflict is going to happen. You are going to have disagreements. Plan for that, but do it lovingly. Accountability matters. If you're working with a spouse, great. If you are single, find somebody to help you, whether it's a budget buddy or a financial coach. Find somebody that can help you work through your systems. And wise counsel matters. Who you're listening to does matter. There's a lot of clickbait out there that is trying to get you to just go the easy way or get in more debt. So just be careful who you're listening to. One reason we encourage weekly money dates is because financial stewardship is not a solo activity. Iron sharpens iron. A husband and wife grow stronger when they regularly talk about their money together. You can also seek a financial mentor. So think about that. Or Proverbs 27:23 through 27 is a great section to read through. And know well the conditions of your flocks. The flock represents your income, your assets, your wealth-producing resources. Solomon says, pay attention. What you own, what you owe, and what you earn, and what you spend. Many families experience stress because they simply don't know the conditions of their financial flocks. You can't steward what you don't measure. So measure it. And financial peace does begin with financial awareness. Once you put those numbers on paper, you go, oh, we're spending how much where? Reviewing your bank statements, tracking your spending, doing a monthly budget, and a weekly money dates, those are going to help you exponentially work together as a couple and also understand where your money is going. Now, the wise person prepares. Proverbs 27 teaches us we don't know what tomorrow brings. It also teaches us wise people prepare for potential problems. It also says that wise people seek accountability and counsel, and wise people know the conditions of their resources. As you read Proverbs 27 this week, ask yourself, am I reacting to finances? Or am I preparing for them? Am I aware of the conditions of my flock, financial flock? And am I building the kind of margin that allows my family to face uncertainty with wisdom instead of panic? Budgeting for real life isn't about predicting everything perfectly. It's about stewarding wisely when life is unpredictable. If you found this episode helpful, please leave a 5-star review and share the podcast with somebody else who could benefit from it. And if you want help creating a clearer financial plan for your life and family, reach out at hello@financialcoachjohn.com or schedule a free call at financialcoachjohn, that's JON.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.